Hi everybody, so today we're going to play Her Story. You may have heard of it. I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't played it yet, so here we go. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? Search for murder? Okay, videos? I guess we can play it.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder.
Clearly.
What can I do to help?
Things. Stuff. Let's see, let's play another one.
Yeah, that's me.
Well done, you win a cookie.
But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Hold on, who's Simon? This is getting a bit creepy.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
Okay.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other, just that. Stories.
Okay. What do I do now? Should I be storing these clips? I guess I'll put them down there. Add to session. Add to session. That didn't work. Oops. Alright, that's my query history, so I got 4 out of murder. What's in settings? Guilty? Haha, 3 new videos.
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I didn't.
Done what? Alright, well let's look at the next one.
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
Well, sounds like you're talking about yourself in third person. Let's continue.
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But
Are you two sisters? Or twins? Or what? What other things can I type? How about stories? Hey, lots of stories.
okay. Sounds weird. I'm not great at making up stories.
Not great, you say? Maybe I should type in something in the user tags. Let's see. Not great at making up stories. Yeah, let's just add that there. I don't know what they do, but, you know, better to have tags. Let's play it.
Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories.
Okay, so she used to read lots, watch heaps of TV. There was that fairy castle doll house. Well, what?
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
Right, so either these two are two different people, or they have a split personality. I don't know, they look kind of the same.
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Right, well, that's legit. I don't remember what happened last week. Something about Florence's family. So they wanted to call her Ava, Eve. The history of girls.
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Right, that's not sadistic or anything. So they had a really big posh dollhouse. I have no idea what that means. Really elaborate little people. Guess they used to play in it all the time. Made up lots of stories. People who lived in the dollhouse. And then there was a moth, and they killed it with a big book. The end. 8 entries found, access limited to first 5. Crap. I can only look at 5 at a time. Let's check out the dollhouse.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but It was another year before we started sleeping there.
Right, so she and Simon moved into her parents' house, which she inherited. And she wants things to go back to normal like they were before the pregnancy. Oh, this is complicated. I know there's a big dollhouse in there. And it was a year before, like they slept in the parents' bedroom a year after they moved in, which is a bit weird. Anyway, at the session.
She recognised me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. It was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
So Hannah found Eve, this lady, and hid her in the attic. Okay, so no one went up into the attic except for Hannah because it was her place.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Okay. So Hannah got some paperwork done and moved back into her house. Eric gave Simon the week off to move in. And Simon never went up into the attic.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Lol. She thinks the hairs can come off a doll? Oh dear. That's not how evidence works. Then again, this is like the 90s, judging by how she's dressed, or the 80s. Let's check out hair.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Right, so Simon is 6 foot tall, darkish blonde hair, average build, clean shaven because his beard is ginger. And they went on holiday to Rome last year.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. But she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with a prince who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
That doesn't sound like a happy ending. Ooh, achievement unlocked. Okay, so Rapunzel story. Not gonna retell it. So hair already cut off in the picture. Happy ending. Got an achievement for happy ending. Does that mean anything?
What kind of hairs?
That was quick. Let me just write that down. What kind of hairs? All kinds of hairs.
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street.
What is going on? Is this an investigation or what?
There were two sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain.
Two sisters,
The
eh?
eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
What?
So they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain. With a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind.
Holy shit!
Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain.
This is pretty horrifying.
Floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swan. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
Oh yeah, because that wasn't really weird? Jesus. Oh yeah, achievement unlocked for the serial murder song. Seriously, what was that? That was like a confession in song form, sort of. Whew. Eerie. Right. Guess she must have been jealous of her boyfriend, Simon, or whatever his name is. Totes not suspicious. I'm almost afraid to keep playing now. Let's try Hannah.
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
I know that feel, bro. Palindromic names for the win. Right, Hannah Smith, 31 Gladstone Street. Hold on. So she's Eve and Hannah, or are they different people? Or... oh man, I'm confused.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Talking about Eve? Alright, so... yeah, she has multiple personality disorder. One of you killed him. Who was it?
Poor Simon.
Yeah, poor fucking Simon. Right. So they're called Hannah and Eve. What are you doing talking about Eve? There's multiple personalities.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
What? So she doesn't know her name, or this is getting weirder and weirder.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Whoa. Reflecty facey what? So twins? So it's not multiple personalities, it's twins? That seems kind of wrong. Maybe they're just telling themselves that story. So they're born on the same day. Florence, the midwife, told them one of them was dead. Told the mother she was dead. But she wasn't. Dun dun dun! So she read about it in a diary. Well, that's what she's telling herself anyway. Let's see if we can look up stuff about Eve.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Hate? Really hate? Is she hating herself? Is she hating her twin? Ooh. So Eve was more popular with the boys. Okay.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment.
Just a moment of
We
total
made
insanity.
It was a love-hate relationship.
More like love strangle relationship. Jesus Christ. pretty much the entire story of that song she sang before. I drowned a girl and I liked it, 'cause I'm a bit psychotic.
A police station? Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve, so my parents let me off.
Yes, blame your evil twin. That's exactly how you should get away with things. I'm surprised your parents didn't pick up on this. Right, so she tried to run away, got caught by police, blamed her, and got away with it.
My mother called me Eve.
Well, that's quite straightforward. Okay, so this one is Eve, and the others must be Hannah, dressed in different clothes. Multiple personalities. See if that comes up with anything. Let's try Simon.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
Okay, so Simon is a glass makey person. Simon Smith works at Ernst Brothers Glazing. Makes artistic things. Really beautiful things.
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
So Simon had been to the Rockington Arms, which is like a pub, I guess, owned by a guy called Peter, and Peter said that Simon had a few drinks. According to Helen, the barmaid. No, that's wrong. I think according to Peter, Peter's not the barmaid. Barmaid was named Helen. Okay.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
Okay, I think the question was, do they have a computer? And the answer was an Amstrad one. So there's a printer, and Simon plays games on the computer. Save the princess. Lots of stuff about princesses, eh?
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
We arrest your sneaky ass. Your weird, multiple personality disorder ass. And find out which of you killed him. Simon isn't the type to run off, do anything crazy. Okay. Let's search for Princess. Aha.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
Especially for you? Sounds like you guys had an argument over a mirror that Simon made for you. Oh, but which of you did he make it for? Hannah or Eve? So, they had an argument about it. What does this have to do with Princess?
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember, well, I went over the river. And then there was a church. There. Yeah. And I probably parked... Well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
Princess Street? Someone wants to be a princess. What the shit is going on? Okay, maybe not. So she drove there.
Yeah. We were 17.
She's got a tattoo.
It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
A Princess Diana dress, hey? So they had a big shotgun wedding when they were 17. What did the dress look like? Princess Diana's dress. Again, this obsession with princesses.
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
If I hear the word princess again, I am not going to be a happy chappy. Alright, so there's a fairy tale book. Rapunzel gets a haircut. So I'm just obsessed with fairy tales. Let's search for a book. There we go.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not books so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
Right, so Simon needs glasses to read menus and things. Doesn't need them for TV. So he likes TV. Yup. And he has a scar on his left hip. Just past the hip. Right. Okay.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
Right, so Rapunzel was her favourite. Are any of these in colour, she asks.
I hoover, I dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people asked, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Who is Eleanor? And Doug? Is she the maid? Cleaners? She clean the house. Secret smoking.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
Right. So that's kind of creepy. So Simon looked like a fairy tale prince. Spelled fairy wrong. So they both worked at the Glaziers. That's probably how they met. Who is this Eric person?
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements.
Right. Don't even know what to put to that. So the reflection waved back. 5 years old. Realized it wasn't a reflection. It was my evil twin. Blah. Hey, I wonder if I can actually click these. I can. Hey, here's the database. I filled a Freedom of Information form to get you guest access. Everything seems to work. They transferred the videos off the original tapes in '99, and then the Y2K thing hit, and they got mothballed. No one has touched them since. I couldn't find the server with the detective's footage on. Possibly those tapes got damaged when the old archives were flooded in '97, but figured that would be enough. Take your time. SB. Computer technology is the backbone of modern police work. The Logic database is one of the many continuing efforts to digitize your workflow and preserve evidence in a manner which will allow you to work more efficiently. In the coming years, the computer will continue to be the most valuable item on add to session. Oh, looks like it's just instructions. How to use the thing. Southeast Constabulary. What's this? A clock. It's 2015. It's not the date. What's this? Database checker. Oh, that must be how many videos I've seen. Alright. I want to know who this Eric person is.
He was wearing a shirt, with a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
Right. So Eric is Simon's boss. And Simon was wearing a long grey coat and a watch that Eric gave him. Okay.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at The Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
Right, so that sounds like a recount of what happened the day they disappeared. They had an argument on Friday. Simon went to the pub for a drink Friday night. He didn't show up on Saturday when he had a job with Eric. And he didn't show up on Sunday either. Hannah / Eve, I don't know which one it is at this point, she went to the police.
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
So they have two cars. One's a Cavalier and one's a van that Eric owns. but they take care of? Whatever that means.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
So she's talking about a credit card. So Eric convinced Simon to get a silver Visa credit card for X reasons.
Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
No, I have not met his wife Diane. So Eric was like an uncle to Simon. I still say she did it. She must have killed him. So they work together. Has wife named Diane. We shall look into that shortly. Alright. Check out Diane.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
So Diane worked at the glaziers and helped out, what's his face, Hannah or Eve, and has 2 kids. Yay!
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
Glasgow? What? So there's a silver watch that was a gift from Eric, but looks like Diane picked it out for reasons. And the time eliminates her because she was in Glasgow? Okay, well, hopefully there's more on that.
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
No, oh, look, achievement unlocked. Have you ever eaten fennel? No, I've never eaten fennel. So Diane is a good cook. Simon cooked in the house. Yeah.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. They get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Was that a nosebleed? Or am I just being weird? She looked like she had a nosebleed. Oh. Eric and Simon were having a fight? Question mark? Alright, let's see. Fight? No. Fennel? No. How about watch? Oops. Here we go.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Wedding dance. Come Back and Stay. I do not know that song. Must be something from the 80s. Or the 90s. Me and Simon, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Hannah or Eve. Ooh.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us so we could then disprove it rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch to make sure the alibi stuck.
Right. So she just pretty much confessed to having killed someone and taken the body down to the cellar and then planted a watch on it because they needed an alibi. What? This is ridiculous. Alright, so she killed him and she wanted suspicion to be on her, but there were two of them together and there was a baby? What? What? Okay, let's search for the body.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body.
Okay, so now they found the body? First he was missing, and now he's just dead. Alright. She found the body. And for some reason her bruise isn't there when it was supposed to be there. What? Did she lie about it? Mysteries.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
Right. So she's trying to make up a story for herself how she found the bin bags as though she didn't put them there. Crazy bitch. So she talked to Simon's mother, remembered about pregnancy stuff and that she didn't need. Remembered about the boxes, found the bin bags. And then she found the body of her husband. It's very calm about it too. Like, I would not be so calm about that.
His body. Doing a meal. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. It doesn't always work.
That is some shady shit right there. So Simon had his throat cut. You didn't. You cut his throat. Oh, he wasn't wearing his glasses?
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the doctor. Oh, the wind and the rain.
Oh no, it's the murder song.
With the fiddle came walking by on a dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain.
Oh
Yes, he
no.
made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bones. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
I don't like this song.
But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
No anti-clapping.
Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
Yes! You're a homicidal maniac, and I'm terrified. Alright, user tags. Suspicious song is suspicious. Hella suspicious. Jeez.
Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was prettier. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
Who is the skeleton person reflection? Right, so she wanted to become pregnant, just like Hannah. But if they're the same person, wouldn't they both be pregnant? Oh dear. Anyway, so she started sleeping around. They had become different. So Hannah was pregnant and Eve wanted to be pregnant. And Hannah didn't. Let's see if we can search for pregnant. Hey.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
How convenient. Pregnant? Marriage? So she got pregnant and they decided to get married at 17. Fantastic.
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
Oh, what? So she's pregnant now? Alright, so Hannah is pregnant. Or is she? Dun dun dun! She's lying about morning sickness? I don't know.
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
So she told him she was pregnant.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Why did she go to Glasgow? Oh well. I guess I'm gonna have to actually finish up the video because it's getting very long. It's already been an hour. Wow, I thought this game was shorter. Alright, well, I'll see you guys next time when we find out what the hell happened in Glasgow. Thanks for watching!
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.